Hello, good evening, everyone. It's me, Calvin from Round and Search. So today we'll be going through the Sunday market prep to get ready for next week trading. So mainly for this session is to share with you guys what to focus into it. Instead of looking into stocks, we might be looking into sectors. We also might be looking into a different market cap as well. So before we start, if let's say you really like this session and you want to get updated next time, get notification when we are going live, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video for us. All right. So let's look into it. So in the past few weeks, last week basically, last week wise, we see that overall the market actually ends with not so great because the majority of the stocks are going down, which is actually expected. But what we see from here is that the majority of the stocks are going down is mainly by those like mid cap or maybe the small cap stocks. But if you look into some of the KLCI component stocks, which is the blue chip, or maybe not in the KLCI component, some of those stocks that I wouldn't say it's good, but maybe they have the intention to move the value up higher, then they are showing sign of some of the demand are coming in at the end of the last trading days, which also means that that might be a support coming in. So there are some of the stocks that are showing this kind of signs that, let's say for one of it that I see from here, and again for disclaimer, all right, so you can see a disclaimer below here, keep running. So this is just my opinion, so you need to do your own research, okay, studies to find out more, to see whether it's good for yourself. And what I'm looking into here, I'm just looking into the price and volume and track seeing how these big boys, when are they coming in, when are they going out, these kind of things. So what we see from here is that on the last trading days, we have things happening like this. All right, so I'm just gonna make it slightly like this so that you guys can see it. So we do see, when we analyze the stocks, we don't just look into the daily charts, because the daily charts might not be able to show some of the intention from it, because we don't use traditional technical analysis if let's say you're new to us. So we don't draw resistance line, we don't draw support line. So how do we find the support is we need to find it from the 5-minute charts and see how does the price movement is like. So how do you define the support? The support, it means that there are demand actually coming in. So if you look into a daily chart itself, sometimes you see like, oh, high volume actually going down, high volume coming out from here. So a lot of people would think that this is a lot of selling pressure, but it doesn't mean that way. We can actually see like whether it's going to pause at this point by looking into 5-minute charts, and this is how we look into it, looking into the price and volume, looking into 5-minute charts over here. So the last trading day, even though the volume is traded very low, but we do see there isn't much of the price are being sell down. It's sell down, but the volume is not that high. And then there's a lot of high volume actually coming in, but then the price is able to maintain at a sideways at this point. So which means that there are some demand actually comes in. So this is one day. So let's take a look into 1 week time. So in 1 week time, what we see from here is that we can do this separation over here. This is 30th, price of 30th. This is 1st of September, and this is 2nd. So what we see from here is that the price, mainly there's a lot of price down. On that day, the price down, but this one not much of a volume up going on. So the high volume, a lot of after the price are going down, so we can see there's a lot of high volume coming in, but the price are being supported at some point. So which means that there is some of the demand coming in. So this is last 1 week. So let's check like 1 month time. So 1 month time, you can see that the price is going down since I'll do the separator here so that you guys can roughly see the day of the price. So how we see this is how we analyze in the market. Instead of using like drawing support line or the resistance line, we don't do that is because it doesn't make sense if, let's say, you use the traditional technical analysis to look into the current market right now, which I think I think most of you have really looked into it. You find that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work? Especially when the market is about to peak, then you get trapped at the high side a lot. That is because all this traditional technical analysis is good for you to both look at it for uptrending. So if, let's say, when it's peak, then it's not able to tell you that it's going to peak, because you need to wait for a very long time, wait for it to break the previous support, then or the indicators, a dead cross, or maybe oversold area, then only you find that, oh, okay, the price is going down. But you don't need the indicators to tell you that, because when the indicators actually follow the price movement and also the volume itself. So if, let's say, you follow that, when the price is going down, when the indicators show any sign, or the support actually show any sign, the price really goes down lower, right? So you don't need that indicator to tell you that. You can see from the price that is going down. So what we want to know that is, how do we know that before the price actually goes down? We want to know at the high side over here, then we can react to it. We can actually take the profit or exit first, and then come back in later on when the demand are coming back in. So that is what we are looking at. That is how we analyze in the stock market, because we want to know what is going to happen next, not telling us what is happening right now. So what happening right now, we already know, is shown in the current market right now. So that's why it is important for every one of us, every traders, every investor, to know when is the price peak, when is the price going to have a reversal. So if you want to know more about how we look into it, so you can look into our Instagram. We do some of the posting of our previous trades, and you can see that how effective it is that we use the operator analysis. Okay, so we can see the price is going down starting from 22nd of August. But when it's going down at this point over here, majority of the volume is actually created at the bottom. So which means that this is going to be, there's some demand actually coming in. So which is some of this is a support, which the big boys are coming in to support at this point. And then you can see from here, the next day, the high volume comes in, but the price not going down anywhere lower, it moves sideways. So we can see that is the support. Instead of drawing a support line doesn't make sense, because if you look into the price, how these big boys actually do, markup price, and how they distribute on the way up. They won't buy on the way up, unless for some of the like really really big cap stocks. Then some of the institutional big boys, they will do that. So but the same thing, those big boys who bought at the lower point, then they will actually sell on the way up as well. So same thing, if let's say people are selling on the way up, so we can't use the previous support over here, previous high or maybe previous support over here, to take it as the next support, because people are selling on the way up. So they are not accumulating on the way up. So no one will want to accumulate on the way up, because your cost of accumulation will be higher and higher and higher. So they are not like us, retail investor. Retail investor, we buy at one point and then we exit at one point, so we can actually get out. But for them, they are buying a lot. I do get like some comment like saying like, oh, how can you say there's only one big boys inside there? There are a few big boys inside there, then they will fight against each other and things like that. Maybe in US you will see things like that. And in Malaysian market, basically not just Malaysian market, I think overall over the whole world, we can see that institutional big boys or any other big boys that comes into it, they will have this so-called gentleman's rules. Okay, they know that, okay, this one you are in, okay, you are taking care of these stocks, so they are not going to move in together. All right, so same thing, those who bought at a, if let's say institutional, we say like they are buying on the way up, it might be different funds are coming in to buy on the way up. Okay, so those second funds that comes in is definitely the buying shares from the first institutional funds, big boys. So same thing, they are distributing. So when they distribute at this point, and then someone comes in and buy, distribute until a certain point, then this who bought at the higher point, they will not have the intention to move up, because they can't find anyone to actually take the shares at a higher point. So those who came in earlier, then they will distribute on the way up. So that's why I say you will only sell on the way up because that's how you make profit. You will not buy on the way up because how far are you going to think that the price is going to move up higher? You know that you need someone behind to actually move the price up higher, or some demand actually comes in to push the price up higher. So that's why when the price move up, why is there a retrace? Because the big boys are selling. So when they're selling down, so which means that they're selling. So the previous resistance, you can say this is a resistance because the big boys are selling the shares. So this is the resistance. But you can't take the resistance become the next support. Why? Because they're selling and they're not buying at this point. So who is buying at this point basically is either the retail investors. So retail investor buying at this point, retail investor won't mark up the price and they have no enough funds to actually mark up the price. So that's why you can't use the previous support as the current support. That doesn't make sense at all. That's the reason why. So this is how we find the so-called, if you like to call it a support, this is what we call a support, but I don't like to call it a support by way, because this is not like a long-term support. It's just like a short-term demand comes in and then create a short-term price up. That's where we can actually take the short-term profit from it. And for those of you traders, if let's say you are looking into something that you want to go for short-term trading, then this is something that you need to know. So if you are using traditional technical analysis, I would say it's best for you to use it in the bull market, in the uptrend. Then you can make from it. Okay, so if let's say from the in the peak market, then you can use it. But here's the problem: how do you know that the market is going into a rebound, going into uptrend, or maybe going into peak? And that is when you need to look into how these big boys operates. When majority of the big boys they are distributing, then you know that the market is going to turn back. Then you have to get out from it. So up and back to the same thing. You can use the traditional technical analysis and try your luck into the market and keep on buying, thinking like when is the uptrend coming, guessing when is the uptrend coming, or you start to look into how these big boys actually works. You start to see like, oh, these big boys are coming back in, so that you can go in for a long term, or maybe you can go in for a mid term, or you can go in for a short term. And then when you see a lot of big boys are starting to do a lot of pump and dump, attracting buyers in, then from the price and volume, then you know that the price is going to have a reversal. So back to the same thing, you need to understand how these big boys actually works. So it's not about using the indicators or the traditional, what we have right now in the market, the indicators doesn't really work because they still use the average of the price movement to do a calculation and then to find like, oh, where is the support and things like that. So no, because the big boys don't create support like that. They see from here. Okay, so what we see from here is that there is a gap down from here, but a lot of high volume comes in, but the price don't really goes down lower. But majority of the volume coming in is actually supporting the price. We might see some of the price very short-term price up are coming in, okay, for some of these stocks over here. But overall, what we see here is that there's a lot of stocks are showing some sign. Let's say not a lot of stocks, a lot of blue chips, a lot of so-called like big cap stocks. They're having some of the big funds are coming in to push up the price. So I have shared before, if you have followed us, I've shared before like how do we know that the big boys, especially institutional funds, big boys that they are collecting in some of the big cap stocks, is that you need to see like when the price is down, then you can see there's a lot of high volume and then high volume over here. So and when the price is down, then there's a high volume. So how do we know that they are ready to push the price up higher is when the price are being pushed up with high volume. So far what we can see from here is for these stocks only, the price is going down, but we see some of the stock that are showing some sign that they are recent price push up with high volume. Okay, so that actually tells us that some stocks, some of the big boys are going into it. And like what I say in the past 1 or 2 weeks ago, last week also I say the same thing, I think 2 weeks also I say the same thing. The upcoming market will be it will not be like 2020 time where you can just close your eyes and then pick one stocks and then the price will move up higher. Okay, it's a different story right now because 2020 time, majority of the central bank or any of the financial authority, they are printing money, they are they are trying to save the economy, and there's a lot of funds that are flowing into the capital market. So that's why you can see too many funds are floated into the capital market. So any stocks will just move up higher because there's nothing much to buy. So all the funds are just flowing into any of the stocks. So right now they are slowing down. They are reducing the interest rate, increasing the interest rate, reducing the funds are issued out into the market. So that's why there won't be so much of funds are floating in the market right now, flowing out into the market. And all these big boys, they will be very careful in selecting of some of the stocks. So we need to know which sector to look into it. So this is one of the sneak peek that you can actually look into it. Like you see any of the stocks that they are currently having a lot of big, not to say big, having some of the big boys are coming back into the market, coming into these stocks, then you know that the upcoming star stocks will be that stocks over there. Okay, so that is how you can see and how you can know which sector is coming into the market. So if you ask me, I would say like for Malaysian market is a bit different where, okay, I won't say Malaysian market is a bit different. I would say each country market will be different because it has been like this. The funds in each countries, they favor different things. Okay, and also like for example, if let's say you are plantation or you are palm oil company, okay, so if let's say you are palm oil listed company, you list in Malaysia and compared to you list in Singapore, there's a huge difference. So you will see that the price fluctuation, more funds are going into Malaysia when they get listed in Malaysia side. But for in Singapore side, you don't see that much of the fund are flowing into these kind of sectors. Okay, so you need to know like in Malaysia, these funds, which one do they favor on? All right, plantation, agriculture, or maybe some of the semiconductor. It was some of the top industry in Malaysia itself. Right now, Malaysia, we have a lot of things are losing out. Semiconductor, we are losing out as well, and plantation also we are losing out as well. So you have to see which sectors are going in. Okay, so if you let's say you want to know more about like how you can find which sector that these big boys are coming in or going into which kind of sectors, how do you see these big boys funds in going into which kind of stocks, and how do we know that when it's going to have a rebound and do the short-term trade, especially in KLSE, then you might want to look into our training course. Our upcoming intake is on October, 1st of October. So it will be 8-month course. So if you want to know more, you can just PM us or maybe go to the link in the description box to find out more. All right. So let me do a summary before we end this session over here. Basically, the whole market, what we can look into it is those like blue chip stocks. Okay, not just like KLCI component stocks, but some of the blue chip stocks, because these are stocks that the institutional big boys are coming in. Mid cap and small cap just have to be a little bit careful. All right, so because we see a lot of pump and dump in this small cap and mid cap, but funds are slowly flowing back into some of the bigger cap stocks. All right, so this is what you have to look into it in the next week. So this is what we will be looking into it as well. All right, but we still do day trading for our those like small cap, medium cap, because since they are doing pump and dump, so there will be a price up during the golden hour for us to take the opportunity on it. All right. Okay, so that's about it here today. So thank you very much for joining, and remember to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. I'll see you guys again next time. So if you have any question, you can feel free to put it in the comment section, and then we will reply you, or maybe PM us on Facebook. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Wrong and search. True traders react to the market.